We feel joy, euphoria, and excitement. This is the agency that's going to be the answer to my prayers. These are the folks that are going to be able to get me more clients. These are the folks that are going to increase my reach. But almost as quickly as that dopamine floods the brain, it starts to recede.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the psychology, because this was big for me to really understand the whole right when the money is exchanged, especially if we're talking what represents a sizable purchase to that person. Like buyer's remorse is the most automatic reaction in the world. And essentially, like if you could give a voice to that, it's like I'm gonna look stupid and I'm gonna have to tell somebody else like, oh, I got ripped off in our case by another marketer. I know you've taught this, well beyond just our industry borders, but in our world, it's usually like, oh, I got ripped off by another asshole marketer. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Ha ha ha. And that's the voice they feel. And so one of the things that you really kind of taught me in your materials is really the idea, what I call welcome aboard, is that even before you get to, hey, give me your passwords, give me your login so I can get to work. There's a phase of just like rewarding them for, hey, you're really smart. We're honored to have you. You're like a welcome guest in the family. And everybody on the team's so excited to have you, and creating that welcome. And I noticed I've done a lot of work in the legal space. Like all the top law firms do this. They have an orchestrated welcome. Like they're not leaving it to chance. Like I can remember one law firm, they they would have a gift basket with a hand signed letter from the team. And it sounds like a lot of work, but what they would do is they would put 100 letters on each person's desk and they would sign them all, and each person would sign them and they would pass them around the office. And then when Joey signs up, all they got to do is say, welcome, Joey. And it looks like the whole team sat there and posed and wrote for you. And it has a very profound effect of like, you feel like, hey, I just made a good decision, right? Like, and this translates. I wonder if you could talk just about how like kind of nailing those details translates to what most people in our world want, which is, this stuff recurring, because people feel like, hey, they're in good hands, like which you almost can't, you can't replicate that in a way.
You can't, but here's the interesting thing, Frankie. I think there are two key components to what you talked about there. You talked about buyer's remorse, and you talked about strategic ways to think about systemizing caring. Let me look at each of those independently.
Yeah.
So what do we know about buyer's remorse? Well, we've all probably heard the phrase buyer's remorse. We've all felt the feelings of buyer's remorse,
Yeah.
but the average person doesn't understand the scientific reality that is buyer's remorse. So, at the risk of diving too deep into the science, brain science tells us when we make a purchase, we decide to sign up to work with a certain marketing agency, we buy a product at the grocery store, we order something online, doesn't matter. Anytime that there is a financial transaction, we make a purchase, our brain floods with dopamine. We feel joy, euphoria, and excitement. This is the agency that's going to be the answer to my prayers. These are the folks that are going to be able to get me more clients. These are the folks that are going to increase my reach. But almost as quickly as that dopamine floods the brain, it starts to recede. And as it recedes, the clock ticks faster and faster. And those feelings of joy, euphoria, and excitement start to be replaced by feelings of fear and doubt and uncertainty. What if this doesn't work out? What if they take my monthly retainer and it doesn't produce more leads? What if we run the campaign and it doesn't move the dial? What if we actually lose money on this project instead of making money on this project? Yeah. What if my boss says, why did you hire these people? What if my spouse says, you're an idiot? I can't believe you're on the verge of losing your job for choosing to work with this agency.
Yeah.
All those feelings we know are scientifically going to happen with every purchase. And we also know from the research that the higher the price of the item, the higher the ticket value.
Yeah, the bigger,
the greater the buyer's remorse.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody who's like, oh, let's go for the whale clients. Let's have platinum level service. Let's make sure we just get the big ones we work with. You're actually stacking the buyer's remorse even higher. Yeah. So the question then becomes, Frankie, well, what do we do about this? Well, it's actually quite simple. In my 8-phase process, this is the affirm phase. And it's called the affirm phase because when someone's in buyer's remorse, you need to affirm their decision to work with you. You need to remind their brain that they went through a process to decide to hire you or to employ you or to work with you, and that thought process was wise, was logical, and was thoughtful.
Yeah.
So you can just say, to your point, oh, thank you so much for selecting us. We know you have a lot of options when it comes to law firms, like your law firm
Yeah.
example, but we appreciate you working with ours. The entire team is excited to work with you. And then you've got the card signed by everybody, and you're giving them a basket with some goodies and some snacks so they get a little sugar rush to go with the dopamine rush, and they're feeling good about it. What I really liked about the example you gave is often the pushback I get, especially from businesses that are doing a high volume, is, Joey, we can't do these little personal touches at scale. That was really nice when we had 2 clients, but now we're signing 20 clients a day or 20 clients an hour or whatever it may be. And there's no way for us to deliver on this level of personalization and care. I wholeheartedly disagree with that statement.
I do.
There Yeah, it is absolutely possible to scale caring. You just need to be strategic about it. You want to do handwritten notes? Have everybody signed 100 handwritten notes, and now you've got a library of 100 that you just need to put their name on.
Yeah.
You want to do a custom video? You can use AI to drop in the names of the recipients. So
Yeah.
I've got a client that they did a thing where they shot the video, and in the beginning, it just shows their logo, and it's like, hey, guess what? We've got a special thing for you, Frankie. And then the logo zooms out and it's got the person and says, and that special thing is me saying, we are so excited to work with you. Well, they put the voiceover in and they can drop any name they want in the voiceover. But then when it cuts to the person that's talking, it's them actually talking to the screen. Yeah. There's so many possibilities. There are so many capabilities for involving technology to create these personal and emotional connections with your clients. It really shouldn't be an excuse anymore.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll probably also like our free Facebook group, Beyond Agency Profits, Agency Lifestyle Design. You can get free copies of the book inside here. I look ridiculous. We're doing weekly Q&As, giving answers to all your questions. Some of the best, smartest, brightest people. We've got lots of industry leaders doing 7, 8 figures and beyond. It's a literal who's who of the brightest agency owners that I know, as well as lots of tips on scaling and stuff, books that work. So if you're not already part of it, you're going to want to be part of it. So make sure to click the link. I put it in the description of the video as well as in the pinned top comment below. So just scroll down and you can join, and it's totally free.